Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Most Important Conversations meditations. These meditations, the theme of them is liberation. This liberation meditation series we've been hosting for the last 2 years every morning. And each morning, Monday through Friday consists of a short talk pulled from our Whole Life Architecture program, which we lead weekly for those who are enrolled in the community program. But we lead these guided meditations and these watcher observer meditations throughout the week. We begin with a talk and then we move into the meditations. We hope that you'll find these meditations helpful and encourage you to join and invite others. And if you'd like more information about whole life architecture, you can find it on TMICglobal.com. This morning, I'd like to talk about something that we do every single day. In fact, the amount of time we spend in our head talking to ourselves is illuminating when you really step back and understand the power of what I want to talk about today, which are I am statements. So if you think about what's bothering you in your life right now or annoying you, you usually have something to say about it. Or even if there's something that is going good in your life or something that might occur to you as missing that you lament and wish you had in your life. In any of these scenarios, whether you're present to something that is annoying or bothering you, something that is happy for you and joyful, or in more of a limbo state of or neutrality because you feel like you're working towards something and there's something missing that you're seeking to bring into your sphere of existence. We relate to all of these different experiences through I am statements. I am happy. I am angry. I am hopeful. We talked about not being hopeful over the last couple of weeks as a path to, because it's a path to suffering. But we are so flippant with these I am statements that we don't understand the constitutive power of them. In fact, around 96% of most adults have a near constant internal dialogue, or what psychologists call inner speech, this continuous stream of self-reference in the form of our own thinking and our own thoughts, recursively directed back towards ourselves. And of the 96% of us who have this near constant internal dialogue about the state of us as we go about the of the world dynamics, 25% will be actually literally talking out loud to themselves in situations to help them process thoughts, manage their emotions, perhaps assuage themselves from disappointment or stress, trying to bring the stress level down. But the reality is that 96% of the time, whether you talk out loud or you don't, we are in this recursive dialectic with ourself, an ongoing conversation with ourself. And the way that we tend to reference ourself is through I am statements. In fact, many psychologists conclude that this perpetual I talk, and to the degree that it happens, they call it I talk, I call it I am, the degree that it happens for you, the degree that you are participating in it, is a measurement of the level of narcissism that you are exhibiting. Most human beings have some level of narcissism. We don't want to admit it, we don't want to think about it, but we do. Because we're always relating to ourself in relation to the world, and it is usually through these I am statements. I am hungry, I am happy, I am sad, I am depressed, I am busy, and so on. Or even it can occur in the framework of me or my. So we're always talking like this because it's the way that we try to locate ourselves in the physical reality and the experience we are having in this dispensation of reality. So these I am statements are in fact defining statements in the context of perceptual reality. And as defining statements, they are creative statements. They are acts of creation which are so powerful that they create and then recursively recreate who we are in and of the world, how we show up, how we perceive the world. And we do this without thinking. Today, after we break for the meditation and you go out about your day without even realizing it, of the 30 or so thousand thoughts a day, it is estimated humans have, 96% of them will be about you. This isn't necessarily a problem in and of itself. In the same way that we teach in whole life architecture that all human beings are addicts by nature. And when you first hear that, you might think this is crazy. What is this person talking about? Well, addiction, as we reframe it, is just reinforced behavior. It is behavior that is neurochemically rewarded and therefore reinforced by your brain through the release of dopamine, serotonin, and other neurochemicals. So we can become addicted to anything because by nature our brain is an addicted making machine, or put another way, we can form habits. We have our habitual behavior reinforced. And the I am statements are of a similar sort of situation. It's not necessarily a problem in the same way that having a brain that's an addiction making machine is not a problem. It depends if you are the master of it and whether you are intentionally creating a life by design to leverage the addictive mechanism of the brain to actually align and create a life that is aligned with who you are, making you more intentional in every single choice that you make, and then making that an addiction cycle. So you can become addicted to intention. You can become addicted to conscious action. You can become addicted to creation and being the creator of your life, as opposed to just consuming life. You can become addicted to those things. So we can use the power of the mind to be a powerful design tool. And the same way here with the I statements, it's not a problem that most human beings exhibit some level of narcissism, but the question then is, how do we use it intentionally to create what's possible for us in our life? If humans are naturally inclined to relate to the world through their own narcissistic lens, how do we leverage that so that the I, the person who's actually in the narcissistic chatter, is able to use that to create a life for themselves by design? These I am statements are so powerful that they are acts of creation. So becoming conscious and present about what you are saying to yourself and about what you are saying to others when you make these declarative, I am this, I am that, is how to start taking back some level of creative control around what's actually happening as a result of these statements. Because these statements, whether we realize it or not, program our subconscious mind. When we say to ourselves, I am depressed, I am broke, I am unhappy, I am unlovable, or any variation of these kinds of things, I'm not enough, nobody likes me, again, I, me, mine, I am, these are all narcissistic statements that are normal for 96% of the human population to be in this dialogue. But if you're not the creator of the dialogue, and the dialogue is thinking you, and the dialogue is part of your learned and inherited conditioning, then you're just going to recreate more of the same, because the I am statement are creative statements that create our relationship to this physical dispensation that we call life. Norman Vincent Peale was talking about this in the 1960s when he wrote the book, The Power of Positive Thinking. But I want to distinguish this. It's not just enough to think positive if you haven't embodied positivity. The problem we have in the West is this delineation between the life of the mind and the essence of who we are as a whole and complete being. We're very much in our head. We're like heads without bodies in the West. In fact, in Eastern spirituality, it is the body that is the access point to the 6 different layers of the self. We have the ultimate inner self, which is pure awareness. We then have the no-thing part of the self, the no-thingness, the nothingness part of the self, which is spaciousness, which is the power of our creative capabilities. Out of all space comes creativity. Every artist starts with a blank canvas. We then, after that, we have this sort of animating self, the part of ourself that then, when inspired by our own creativity, acts, the doer. And then we have the heart and the mind part of ourself. And then we have the body, and then we have the external world. So we've got these 6 layers of the self. But it is only the body that mediates the inner world from the outer world. So the body is actually as important, if not more important, than the mind in terms of being able to navigate this physical dispensation we find ourselves in. And yet, in the West, we are all mind, chattering away to ourself, narcissistically turned inward on ourself, while taking our cues from the outer world. So learning to control these I am statements and to bring awareness to them, so that what you are saying to yourself when you say, I am this or I am that, is the beginning of your reprogramming, is the beginning of you being able to weaken and lessen the binding ties of your conditioning. When Norman Vincent Peale was talking about the power of positive thinking, it was sort of a fake it till you make it kind of thing. And we're not suggesting that, but I am just acknowledging that even he understood the mechanism of these I am statements as creative potential. We don't want to fake it till we make it. We want to connect deeply and profoundly to who we are authentically. And then, as Immanuel Kant said, know that every word from our mouth, whether it's audibly to other people or it's self-talk, is an act of universal law, that it has that level of creative power. So if you're constantly ruminating on what you don't have, or not being good enough in your eyes, or not being enough, if you're constantly 96% of your 30,000 thoughts a day chattering and nattering away in your mind, if most of it is critique, if most of it is self-judgment, you're just creating more of that in your life. Because these are declarative, creative statements. Your I am statements to yourself are programming your subconscious, and your subconscious determines the next actions you will take. If you're saying to yourself you are not enough, then your subconscious mind has been programmed to do more stuff to make you enough, to take on relationships or projects or engage in conversations that if you truly felt you were whole and complete and enough, you would never engage in. Because you wouldn't have to, because the directive to your subconscious mind isn't, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm broke. So the I'm broke part of you starts to subconsciously drive you to take on projects that are unaligned just to fill the I'm broke hole. I'm unlovable will have you get into relationships with people, any people, who will give you the attention to fill the hole of being lovable, even if those relationships don't align with you. This is how the I am statements work. And if we're in these I am statements, if we're in these dialogues with ourselves 96% of the day, you can quickly see how almost your entire life is the result of this inner dialogue you're inside of. And without taking responsibility for mastering our I am statements and our language, because language is a constituting force of our reality, our experience of reality, we are just sloppily tolerating a life by default, not understanding the mechanism that we have right in our power to alter and to align more closely with who we actually are and who we choose to create ourselves to be in the world. Even when Moses was in the Bible, was in the desert in the Bible, by the burning bush, and he asked the burning bush, "Who are you?" And the burning bush, which in the story was God, the creator of the universe, said, "I am that I am." I am that which I am. I am that which I say that I am. Descartes put it another way. I think, therefore I am. In the Bible, it says, whatever a man thinketh, so he shall be. If you're thinking, I am not enough, I am broke, I am unlovable, then that you are. And if 96% of your day is taken up in these statements, don't be surprised that your life mirrors it. So this morning, as we break and move into our meditation, I'd like you to give consideration to your use of this very powerful tool, which can either be a creative tool, the I am statements can be a creative tool, or they can be a weapon used against yourself. Better to keep silent if your statements, your I am statements, your I, me, mine reference statements are not an act of the will, not an act of your creative will, and are just conditioned chatter that have been going on for decades. Learning how to stop that first, create some space, and then begin to use the power of the I am statements to intentionally create who you're going to be. You'll notice a profound shift, first in your perception of how life is occurring to you, and then eventually how life shows up for you. So as we move into our meditation this morning, in the back of your mind, and as you go about the rest of your day, give consideration to how you use the I am statements, how your inner dialogue is a constituting and creative force for your experience of life. I'm going to invite Mignon now to join us for our guided neurosculpting meditation this morning.
Thank you so much, Chad, and hello, everyone. So this moment, I will be guiding you using the 5-step neural sculpting meditation process, a process that helps calm the nervous system, prime the brain for creating supportive ideas, and gives you agency in how you move through life. I will be giving brain cues and toggles, so you might hear me spelling out words, dialing up or down, or bringing up bizarre imaginings. These are all by design. And I'm guiding this meditation now, and I'll do it again in the future as opportunity for you to deepen your practice and experience its full benefits. I've found that returning to the same meditations regularly can be incredibly supportive and reinforcing desired outcomes and creating lasting shifts. I hope it serves you in a meaningful way. So let's begin. The invitation is for you to get comfortable as we play with the idea of being grounded, so that we might start to soften some of the sharp edges of our more negative thoughts. And we'll start this process by just allowing the mind to do whatever the mind wants to do. It might want to have thoughts, and that's okay, because the only thing I'm really interested in inviting you to do in this moment is to notice that your body is right here, settling. And you might like to give your neck a little stretch or drop your shoulders. Perhaps roll out your wrists or ankles. And you might like to adjust pillows or cushions, making yourself just a bit more comfortable. And while you are bringing awareness to your body, I would like to invite you to notice that you are breathing. You have an inhale and an exhale, and these partner up in each and every moment to rise and fill and release and empty. So if you can notice the rise and fall of the belly or lungs and the gentle release as your exhale spills right out of your body, you might even be able to slow it all down if that's comfortable for you. Your breath in and out is always supporting you in each and every moment. And if you would like it to get slower or longer, your very own awareness can do that. It's remarkable. Our body listens in each and every moment. As your breath breathes itself deeper and slower, you're welcome to invite the body to settle just a bit more. You might want to even close your eyes or maybe soften your gaze as you notice your weight and mass moving down toward the surface of the earth as gravity reminds you where the ground is. The earth is gently pushing up against you, and perhaps in this particular moment, you could let yourself sink even deeper into your seat or cushion or the ground. And you might notice some things particular to this moment in time that add to your comfort emotionally or physically. Maybe that's the familiar space of your room. Maybe that's the softness of a blanket or a pillow. Maybe that's the fact that you have a place to rest your head at the end of the day if you need to. Your environment in this moment is supporting you just as your breath breathes itself. So, what if you could stretch into your own creativity playfully? It might be fun to imagine being part of an elephant herd roaming the savannah. Would you be a youngster or a full grown matriarch leading the herd? How wild would that be? Or maybe it's more interesting to imagine being the vibration of one of the colors of the rainbow. Which color do you imagine being? Are you red, maybe green, or blue? Do you blend in with the next color? From this space where your body is supported and your creative mind is awakened, I would remind you that this grounding meditation is for you to do with as you see fit. It's yours to author. So, what would it be like to bring to mind the word or concept of being grounded? Perhaps a different word or two arises in your mind to describe that state of being. Maybe a word like CALM or balance or secure. And maybe it's something else, whatever grounded means to you. What if you could take that concept and give it a color or maybe a texture or vibration? Would grounded be smooth or vibrant? Would it be a lovely shade of green? Maybe a deep red or something else? And if you were to ask your creative mind, where in your body would you like to activate this grounding? How does that look for you? Maybe you imagine yourself growing roots of this color and vibration out of your feet or down through your spine to root down into the ground. Or do you imagine grounding is something else for you? Maybe grounding for you is relaxing and reclining in a deep, soft chair, or laying in the grass with your spine connected to the ground. This is your mind cultivating an association with grounding. You might just let your breath go a bit deeper, acclimating and resting. And because you are grounded, what would it be like to bring to mind one of your beliefs about yourself that is a bit uncomfortable for you? One of your I am statements. This might be I am not enough, or this might be the concept of a lack or insecurity or something else that has been all too familiar to you. As you bring to mind this belief about yourself, I wonder if you might imagine the texture of this vibration this construct, the color of it. Maybe it's bumpy or sharp. Maybe it's metallic. It might be gray or something different. It might have a sound. But the truth is, your body is supported and your breath is breathing itself, and you have already cultivated grounding. So, what if you could journey through your body to explore where you might be holding the color, the vibration, the words of this I am belief that does not serve you? Do you imagine it to be in your throat? Maybe it's in your head. Perhaps it's like a weight laying heavy on you. Or it might surprise you as to where it might be in your very own body. Because you established grounding, what would it be like to let creative mind have permission to release or shift what you have found? Maybe you let this fall right out of your body, down those roots you might have made. Or maybe you imagine this turns to vapors so you can exhale it long and far out of your space because you're grounded. Maybe you choose to change its color or sound so that your body grounded holds it differently, softer, easier. Your body might not even need to hold it at all anymore. Breath is breathing itself. Your body is listening to your mind. Your mind is guiding the story. How deep would you like your next 3 breaths to go, in and out, as you finish releasing what does not serve you and settling into your grounding? And maybe you notice a shift in your body, a shifting sensation, a shifting perception. You might even just imagine a shift taking place. And if you observe or imagine a shift that feels better to you than that belief before, you are welcome to remember that, anchor into that with a gentle hand gesture with your non dominant hand. Or you might place your hand somewhere that will remind you at any time you use it of the grounding you created for yourself today. This is your body in the present time, your mind associating with grounding, your creative mind shifting what doesn't serve you. You might even want to choose a word, an activation phrase that tomorrow could remind you of this experience today. A word that is meaningful to you or fun and nonsensical. What is that word for you? And as much as you have grounded yourself and allowed that grounding to shift what doesn't serve you, naturally you will get better and better, finding it easier and easier over time. Every time you use your hand gesture, and each time you think of your word, creating access to grounding, just as your breath was breathing itself. This story can exist all by itself in the backdrop of your very own mind, available anytime you need it. And you are welcome to explore this story as it plays or continues to shift into something more and more wonderfully aligned with you for the remainder of this time and beyond. Embrace it and be well.
And welcome back, everybody, reconnecting to the world without from the world within. And as you go about your day, give consideration to the power of your inner dialogue, to the power of your I am statements, your inner chatter. See if you can catch yourself. Much of this chatter is subconscious. Most of us aren't aware of 30,000 thoughts a day, yet these thoughts are recreating ourselves each and every day. Even beginning to just be aware and catch yourself making these I am this, I am those types of statements will begin to open and give you more access and power to be the creator of them, as opposed to just being carried away by them because they're conditioned and they're habituated. Treat it like a bit of a game. See if you can catch yourself today and see if you can stay out of making everything about you as you go about your day. Wishing you all a wonderful day, and we will continue our